Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's watch party for Back to the Future. We've had last week one of the greatest films ever made, and we're following it up with probably an equally great movie, a perfect movie, a fantastic movie. As always, I'm Andrew, and I'm joined by Dom. Welcome, Dom.
Hello, everybody. Happy to have you all here for, like Andrew said, one of the best movies ever made.
It really is. It really is. We're going to do the roll call just in a couple of minutes, but just while you're all getting yourselves lined up, today's sync point, because there's a few different releases of the film. I mean, they're all Universal, but they a couple have different Universal logos on the intro. The sync point will be just as it says, Steven Spielberg presents on the splash screen just before the movie starts. So that's where we're going to be our sync point. So quickly, let's do our roll call, and then we'll get into having a chat about the film before we start, Dom. So over on YouTube, we have the amazing Soul Search and Destroy. Horror fan, welcome. And we've also got James Hellier and Pepjin. Forgive me, I can't say your surname, but you're very, very welcome to join us. And over here on Discord, let's go through who we've got here. We've got, let's see who we got. I can see Mad Matt, Icy Matty, Hannah Rose Artist, welcome, Embry. We've got Lizard Man, Eric, Sharon, Brainwire, James again over on YouTube, on Discord, Sharon, and ENIAC. And if I see any more of you who appear, I will say hello to you as we go. On Calbot as well, welcome Calbot. Yes, Soul Search and Destroy, you are amazing. You really are. Yeah, we think you're absolutely awesome. So, Dom, when did you see this film? Obviously.
Before my time. I think I was born with this pre-programmed in my brain. I've always known the Back to the Future trilogy. I've always loved Back to the Future trilogy. They tend to repeat on British TV, especially in my youth, almost every holiday. Like, for some reason, I remember it coming on around Halloween time as well. Although that could just be like, hey, it's a Sunday, here's a film. Back to the Future Part 3.
Well, this old timer, sit down, children. This old timer is going to tell you. I saw this movie at the theatre/cinema when it was originally released in 1985. I saw it at a very unique cinema in the UK called the Kinema in the Woods. And the reason it's unique is it's in a wooden hut in the middle of a forest. And it is the only rear projection UK cinema. And it's very old-fashioned when you go in there. They have like an organ from when they'd have silent movies in there. Very old-fashioned cinema.
The Kinema in the Woods sounds like a horror movie.
It's. I do remember as well though the pop/soda that they had in cans was warm.
Ugh.
It wasn't chilled.
It wasn't chilled.
Can. And it wasn't a cinema like we'd know where they'd have it in like on the pump. It was a can. Like a can of Coke, please. It was like that.
Oh,
so
God.
Some of our other friends who have seen this movie over on YouTube, I can see Tony Martin saw it in the cinema. Pepjin said I was born 1985, and John Zizopolo says same here. Just started college when it was released. And then let's go through. We've got Sharon saying I saw this in the theatre right after I was sick in bed for an entire week. Coincidence, probably. Hannah Rose says, my love of this franchise may or not be related to my crush on Michael J. Fox, so I apologise in advance for any lewd comments I make regarding Mr. Fox at any point during this party. And Niak says this movie is aged like fine wine. It really has. But, okay, everybody, let's get down to it. Let's start one of the greatest movies ever made. So, on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, press play. I even love the bait and switch at the beginning, where we see this. I love the bait and switch where we see Marty now in this weird kind of lab apartment, dingy, whatever it is that Doc lives in. I mean, it's a garage, I believe, isn't it? It's an old garage.
Yeah, it's his garage.
But we see him in there, and we see him cranking all these dials, turning up, flicking these switches. And he's going to be using the time machine. He's going to be using the time machine. Oh, look at that. I just noticed we've got a little bit of...
yeah, it's a foreshadowing.
Something I've never noticed.
Same here. I just noticed that. I don't want to like play myself up by saying like, "Oh, I've never seen that before," but
I've never noticed that. Again, this is what's great about it.
Watch this film so many times, and little things just shine out. You learn something new every watch.
You really do.
I think my first interaction with the Back to the Future franchise was the NES game, which is just depressing.
Well, Hannah Rose is saying, could the clocks be foreshadowing? There's a clock showing a man who looks like a young Doc Brown hanging off the arm of one of the big hands.
Mm-hmm.
Very near the top of it.
I love how casual they are. Plutonium
Some Libyans.
being robbed.
Yeah. Doesn't he get the lottery numbers next or something?
I remember. Oh god, that toast.
Oh. Yeah. But it's the smell. Years in the 80s when we had cats, I remember in the 80s you'd feed cats and dogs this kind of, I mean, cat food has kind of improved and dog food has improved in quality. And I just remember the smell of that on a warm day. And it was just like, oh, yeah. The yeah. Thank God that pet food's improved a lot since then.
Oh yeah, for sure. See, this is very unrealistic. Clearly the key would have been under the sun visor above the door. We all know this.
Soul Search and Destroy says, is it bad that I can imagine that smell from your description, Andrew? Why? It is. If you've ever had a pet, you know that smell if you had it with pet food as it used to be.
Is that going to be a new insult? You smell like warm dog food on a hot summer's day.
God, yeah. I've got my subtitles on. Humming grows louder.
So I played in a band when I was in high school.
What instrument were you playing, Dom?
I was a singer and I played the guitar. I did this routinely whenever I got to anywhere that had enormous speakers, not quite this enormous. Crank everything up to the highest setting you could possibly go to, stand right in front of it, and just... What a great reveal for Marty, though, here. You don't see his face until this moment where he just emerges.
It's a great opening to the movie, though, isn't it? It's so good. I will agree with everyone saying they missed a trick by not making everything go up to 11.
Yeah.
For the kids among us here, before we all had mobile phones, you'd have to ring people on these things called landline phones like that. And they weren't cordless, had a very long cable out the back of them.
So you could drag them across an entire scene like this.
Yes.
Oh God, that would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? Having all the clocks just... Are those clocks I hear?
And if you notice, Doc is basically living on Burger King, which will be explained why now. Do you know this was the first time I ever saw, being British, first time I ever became aware of Burger King?
Oh. One of the best 80s soundtracks for any film.
Incredible soundtrack. Absolutely incredible. There we go.
Yep.
Yep, Huey Lewis and the News. So good.
Toys R Us. That just hurts me.
And here we see the very, very famous Universal set.
Yeah.
Where we see this Hill Valley has been taken over in the past by Gremlins and the Universal monsters.
It has.
I'd agree with you, Neil. Burger King is not quite what it used to be.
Rest in peace, the Back to the Future ride at Universal.
Exactly. Let's not. Yeah. Because The Simpsons was a great replacement.
So depressing.
Yeah.
It's so depressing.
And here we have another absolute 80s icon, James Tolkien from, yeah, exactly, the headmaster from Masters of the Universe. Where else in the 80s have we seen him? His other probably big 80s role. That's right, Eric got it. He was the captain in. He was Maverick's captain of the aircraft carrier in Top Gun. Well, basically, he played the same character.
Yeah, he's he had a monopoly on this character, didn't he?
And we got a cameo here as the head of the committee picking the bands. That is Huey Lewis of Huey Lewis on the News fame.
Ah, yes, the pinheads.
Yes.
So a small story from my childhood and my band years. The lead guitarist in my band was a huge ego freak, and the band sought me out because they knew me. I was their friend.
They knew you and they sought you out for that reason at the same time.
They sought me out because I was not afraid to humiliate myself on stage, and I could play guitar. The lead guitarist desperately wanted a hair metal name. I think he desperately wanted us to be called Dynasty or something like that. And I kept saying, I'm not being named after a soap opera.
Oh, sorry. Just a quick question. Sorry, Dom, to interrupt. Quick question for our amazing Discord and YouTube audience. I'm sure someone may find out and look for us. That green car behind them, they just walked past. I noticed the number plate says for Mary. Who is that Mary? Is it some kind of an inside thing? I'm not aware of it. I'm sure one of our community may know why that car says for Mary, and I'd love to know.
Man, I miss how cool, like, you know, how awesome a movie is going to be based on the cars that they just show you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the new Toyota
pickup truck. But again, Dom, you'll appreciate this. In the 80s, well, not so much in the 90s for you, we never saw pickup trucks here, really, did we? They were not in the UK. They're not, even now, they're quite few and far between, unless you live in a rural area where you have farmers. Things like that. That's the only time you see a pickup truck. No one drives a pickup truck here.
Not a chance. Oh, the roads are a lot smaller as well.
Yeah. Yeah, don't mind our personal space, love. That's true, John. That between James Tolkien, Robert Picardo, and Joe Pantino, they were in a lot of 80s movies and 90s movies. It's fortunate he received that flyer. I wonder if that might come in handy later on in the movie.
Yeah, potentially.
Wow, her dad's car has so much wood on it. It's basically powered. It's a powered wardrobe, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's just wood paneling the vehicle.
That's right, Mad Matt. The ledge on the clock tower is not broken yet.
Very neat handwriting.
It is.
I'm sorry, what film is showing there? Orgy American Style?
Yeah, unfortunately it's now an adult theatre.
Oh yeah.
It's a 24-hour X-rated. Now that's brave.
Yeah, being on the back of a cop car.
Yeah. That is such a great shot, the way that street is just perfectly framed.
I know, it's beautiful. Oof.
It's interesting. Sharon just noticed Mary is spray painted on the Line Estates sign. And Mad Matt says her grandmother's phone number is Doc's phone number.
Mm.
So are you saying Doc is secretly living with her grandmother?
Most eligible bachelor, perhaps.
Oh, that jar of candy, that cut glass jar of candy that's like been there. You can tell that's been there for months and it's stale.
Oh yeah. Adds flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Soul Searching. So it's a brilliant point. Watching this while young, I never realized the grown-ups were young actors in aging makeup. The makeup in this is really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, Doc Brown's in age makeup as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And then for the sequel, they decide, well, we'll get there. Oh no, don't, Biff, no. Don't eat stale candy.
Ah.
Who had a Biff in their life? Like someone this obnoxiously vile and just...
No.
Oh.
I don't know quite this bad.
ENIAC, you do still? Oh, your boss. Oh
Dear.
Get a different job, buddy. It's not worth it. Life is too short to suffer constantly. Look at how old the photographs are in the background here. Like, what?
It's just so brilliant.
Victorian pictures.
Yeah, but is that not potentially foreshadowing Back to the Future 3?
Yeah, potentially.
So Neil Whaley over on YouTube is saying, kudos to the set dresser. I knew several people who had homes just like the McFlys. It's not like a British home in the 80s, but it is very indicative of what a home then would have felt like.
For sure.
Oh, tray cake. So I believe David also... Hang on, is David wearing a McDonald's uniform? Is that a Burger King uniform? Burger King.
It's Burger King, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that peanut butter stuff looks quite good. Yeah, the mother with a big bottle of cheap vodka on the counter behind her.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought for a second Marty was spreading butter on his peanut butter cracknel sweets. Wow, Marty, lay off the butter.
This is definitely one of those films that watch it once, you're doing yourself a disservice. You have to watch it at least twice.
Welcome, Rick. How do you watch the movie with us? You need your own copy of the movie. Unfortunately, due to copyright reasons, we can't stream a copy, but we assume most people have a copy of Back to the Future. And you synchronize it with us and enjoy along.
Mm-hmm.
Do we ever find out what George's actual office job is here?
Yeah, I don't think we do. This is the thing as well. Two Brits watching this now with an audience of Americans. How elaborate do these dances get in real life?
But then again, I know of this. I know this from my young niece. They have school proms which are like these dances, and they are.
They're so elaborate. They have like a theme, and the decoration is next level. What do we get? We got it's a Halloween dance. You can dress spooky if you like.
Yeah. Gosh, a lot. He's got Diet Pepsi. Oh no, not Diet Pepsi free. When I was in America recently, in the resort I was staying in, they've got a fountain thing. You can help yourself to a soda as much as you want. And I tend to drink, as you probably know, I tend to drink quite a lot of Diet Coke. That's my choice. I selected the wrong one and picked the caffeine-free Diet Coke, and I was like, something wrong with this. Tastes wrong.
Something is wrong.
Something is wrong.
There's something very aesthetically pleasing about.
And here is Twin Pines Mall.
Keep an eye on Twin Pines.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, something very aesthetically pleasing about a parking lot at night that's like been freshly rained on.
Mm-hmm. John saying it doesn't matter what George's job was. That's the point. His home life is so boring. You know, yeah, he's only doing it basically to his life is. He's in Groundhog Day. Every day for him is just the same and unfulfilling. Eric, how did he get inside the car inside the truck? Well, I guess he could have pushed it in, but as to how he's got into it, unless he's just driven it in and out. Because I don't know how he would have got into it because the doors wouldn't open. And you can't climb through the window because it's about the size of a mailbox.
Magic.
Thank you, Soul Search and Destroy. I accept your apology. I always wanted an Einstein dog.
Oh, for sure. I should change out my watch for this. I don't know why I haven't got my my Timex on. Ugh. Oh wait, he has a Casio, doesn't he? Damn.
Oh, welcome, Rick. Rick saying, you'd be surprised how little space you need to open a door on a DeLorean. He owns one, so no, it's very cool.
Oh,
very, very cool.
Share some pictures. Oh wait, you said he's on YouTube?
He is. But
join our Discord and share some pictures.
That'd be fantastic. I always loved this though. This is just so cool.
Yeah.
The remote control car.
The noises it makes as well. Oh, everything about this film is so tidy and awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound design doesn't get enough credit in films. Making a sound perfect is so difficult. And when you notice that the sound is like off or wrong, it's like you with a Diet Coke with no caffeine. You instinctively know something is wrong.
Exactly.
And I think it's like a bass player in a band. When they're doing a crap job, you notice, but when they're doing a perfect job, you don't notice a thing.
Here we go. It is just really, really cool. Yeah, the movie doesn't look its age. The movie's time. Forgive me for the pun. The movie is timeless in that respect.
Don't say the movie's 37 years old. It hurts me.
I'm going to stop talking in big chunks this because I just love this movie so much.
I know. Yeah, I found myself doing the same thing.
Hannah says 37, and this film doesn't look a day over 25. I need this film's skincare regime.
Me too. The chemistry that these pair have is next level perfect.
Yeah. I love the whole kind of, it's never explained how, it's never officially explained how and why Doc and Marty met.
I was about to say, I need that origin story, but I don't want it.
There's all kind of extended university book things and rumors and stuff, but I don't know. I kind of like leaving it as somewhat of a mystery. Hey, Brandon, welcome. We're just coming up to about 23 minutes and 10 seconds. Exactly. That's the thing, Soul Search and Destroy. You talk about the Back to the Future being a big synthwave influence. I was going to say everyone should check out your YouTube channel because your videos are superb. There we go.
I'm starting to think, yeah.
What's happened to the car? It's covered in like ice stuff.
Yeah, time ice.
Ice, yeah.
Everyone knows this.
Yeah, exactly. Sharon is saying, I'd like to know the history. Weird that a teenager is hanging out with an eccentric genius, but we suspend belief and just love it.
That's the thing. As a kid, didn't even question it.
Right, but when you were a kid, if you were hanging out with that eccentric professor weird man, your parents were going, you don't see him. No, no.
The crazy man with all the clocks who eats nothing but Burger King. Yeah.
Someone delivered something to his garage and it just smells of dog food.
It's that man who smells like warm dog food on a hot summer's day. No, I forbid you to see that man. To be fair, they'd be right, given what happens in a moment.
Oh. Here we go. Sharon's now saying, I can now smell old dog food. Everyone will be by the end of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, Hannah, that they've got a great relationship, and it's what makes it great is because it's such an unlikely relationship between the two of them. That's what I like about it.
And they complement each other so well. It's like the classic double act of having one that's smart, one that's not, one that's stylish, one that's not.
Oh, that's very cool. It's a very cool picture of the DeLorean from Boomer Team 6 over in Discord. what I love about the aesthetic of this film is it all looks made in that garage.
Yeah, it all looks garage made. And everything has those little punched lettering. What are they called now when you label
Dymo.
things? Yeah,
Dymo
the Dymo labels.
The old punch Dymo labeler. Yeah, I remember those. I remember when we found one in school and the kids got in trouble because they were just labeling everything.
They used the entire ream.
Welcome, Randall Perkins, saying it's never implied that Marty is an outsider. He seems to be quite popular. So why indeed? Is he friends with the town? Why is he friends with the town outsider? Is it simply because Marty's just a good guy and he's so inclusive? Marty is he seems to be a well-adjusted guy from a family of broken people.
Yeah. And he seems to be able to blend in seamlessly. Like, he'd make a perfect spy. He can blend in with 50s guys and in the distant future. He's crazy. And the Wild West.
Yep, soul searching toy. Marty's well liked by his peers, but to the grown-ups he has no future. Maybe Doc sees potential in him.
That's a good point.
Yeah. But again, this film's as deep as you want it to be, and that's what's wonderful about it. It's either it can be popcorn fodder, or you can really get into some of the extra stuff in it. I love just this aesthetic. This is there you go. He nearly drops the camera. I saw Jedi Wizard has joined us. Welcome, Jedi Wizard. Oof.
Be so disappointed, Doc, if you came that far in the future.
2015. Yeah.
Kind of the same, really. It's a bit more boring.
Can you imagine if we went to 2020 by mistake?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, Doug's saying the DeLorean with the trunk in the frunk. In the Tesla community and BMW community, they call that, in the electric vehicles, they call it a frunk.
Not many poets in the electric car community then.
It's a frunk, the front trunk. And in fact, the BMW i3, which has a frunk in it, but it's an electric car that has a small generator where you put gas, where you can add gas to it to generate electricity if you need to. It says in the manual for the car specifically, do not store a can of gas in the frunk in case you have a head-on collision.
So they've canonized the term frunk.
Frunk, yes. Or if you're British, fruit for front boot. It's your fruit. That sounds very Canadian, though, doesn't it? Your fruit.
All right, mate. Put your shopping in the fruit. Why did Doc have an old-timey revolver?
Well, we will see that revolver again in Back to the Future 3.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, when Doc sets the DeLorean off racing down at the drive-in cinema, it's the same revolver you see him fire.
That's one of the things I really like about this trilogy of films, how neat and tidy everything is well put together. Of course, there's logic flaws you can pick apart, but something as simple as the mall they're at currently and how subtle the changes are, it's just nice. And it makes you feel smart. That's the beauty of a film like this, a popcorn flick that can be as deep as you want to be. It makes you feel really clever. It's like the opposite of a good puzzle. A good puzzle makes you feel stupid when you solve it because you're like, of course that's the answer. And you feel stupid, but this film makes you feel smart afterwards.
Okay, I'm going to hold my hand up and say in one of my cars in the past at night, I was driving too fast down the motorway, listening to the Back to the Future score, and I changed gear, went, let's see if you bastards can do 90. Yes, I did that.
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't? Interesting bit about this scene, the actual speedometer for the DeLorean there has been altered because the standard one doesn't actually go high enough. Not that the car wouldn't necessarily do the speed. It was down to an American law around speeding in vehicles. They basically made it so that the speedometer wouldn't go that far, so you couldn't see how fast you were going. Yeah, I did this. Oh, God.
Yeah. It's such a good, like, score. It's so magical. This car, the DeLorean, went to the DeLorean from Back to the Future, came into a, not exactly a racing game, but Rocket League. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I know Rocket League. Yeah, I've got Kit in my Rocket League.
I have the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and every time I score a goal, I just hammer on the microphone and sing out the theme to Back to the Future as an insult. It's great. It's a great victory kind of march.
Oh, this image reminds me of something I want to recreate at Christmas.
Tales from Space.
Yeah. This scene reminds me of, I want to recreate this nativity scene at home this year.
Who's the baby Jesus?
No, it is. It's just the DeLorean crashing through the barn with baby Jesus. I want to recreate that at home.
Oh. I love it.
It's brilliant.
It's already mutated into human form. Shoot it!
So great.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh, and now we've seen one of Old Man Peabody, one of his pine trees has been destroyed.
I wonder how that will affect
Twin
the future.
Pines Ranch. Yeah. Oh. Really beautiful shots, though.
Oh yes, fantastic. I mean, it's Dean Cundy was the DP, right? The director of. And as we know, Dean Cundy is incapable of shooting a bad shot.
Sharon's saying it wouldn't be morning already. Got there at 2 a.m. at the latest. I'm not sure what time I can't rewind it because it'd reset it. Let's see. We'd know basically from the time circuits what time they were set to.
Yeah.
Don't stop, Wilbur. Don't.
Oh, this is great. Out of plutonium.
Come on. This bit confused me as a kid that the car had no plutonium, even though really it's not driving because it needs gasoline.
Stop picking apart the perfect movie, Andrew.
No, I'm not picking it apart. No, this just confused me because I didn't fully understand. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just the car needed gasoline, but it's also showing it's out of plutonium. It's supposed to have all fuel.
Yeah.
That's right, Sharon. Gas to drive plutonium to time travel, as we find out in the third movie. The internal combustion engine has always run on gasoline. Now, I found an extra bit of trivia out about this I didn't realise.
Ooh.
In this. Now, you're going to see a van saying to re-elect the mayor. That's right, John. It's got a starter problem. Yep.
Yeah, that's what would make me believe, oh yeah, I'm definitely not in my time. Having people come out of the gas station to do stuff for me.
Most of the gas
rather than
stations
having a homeless man just attack me.
Yeah, most of the gas stations you go to now, the poor person inside, the attendant's sealed inside basically a bulletproof chamber,
box,
aren't they?
yeah.
And Neil Whaley saying the Klingon bird of prey from Star Trek 4 and DeLorean have a lot in common. They require alternative energy sources to make the voyage home. Very true. Yeah, exactly. Soul Search and Destroy. Good customer service. That's how you know they're in the past.
Yeah, they care.
True. So Mayor Red Thomas. Will we see Mayor Red Thomas again in the movie?
Will we?
Hey, Onzi, welcome. See if anyone else can... Bonfire Night.
Remember, the 5th of November.
Actually, I went to a place that I'm going to put some photos as I always do in Discord, my vacations when they're relevant. We went for a meal in a place called 50s Primetime Cafe. Let me find some photos for you all.
Kids these days, if they traveled back to the 50s, they wouldn't think to look for the phone book. I've just realized how doomed I would be because I'm diabetic and I require things like modern medicine to survive.
Yeah, that might be a problem. There you go. It was all themed like
Oh, that's amazing.
The whole cafe is themed like that. Yeah, yellow pages were helpful. Very sad now though when you see a yellow page. I had a yellow pages delivered probably about 4 years ago. I think I had my last one. It was more like a pamphlet.
That's so clever. It's just subtle and clever, having both of them do the exact same movement and turn around
at
the same time.
I've got a question to ask though. Whoever now would go to a diner and say, I want a bowl of cornflakes?
Oh, just me. I'm the only one who goes.
Just you. Just you, is it?
There is actually a cereal bar in Virgin Hotel, I believe, in Vegas. And I've been tempted so many times to go and say, like, yeah, I'll have some Fruit Loops or whatever.
Oh, we really enjoyed the food in there, Lizard Man. I had some really nice meatloaf and fried chicken and pot roast, like a platter. It was delicious.
I like how he's the atypical beggars can be choosers. Yeah, not too early, mate. And bring a nice piping hot bowl of cornflakes while you're at it. Fresh from the mill.
Cornflakes. Oh.
These little iconic shots of like Marty just peeking in. I can't think of modern films that have that like iconic shots anymore. It's always big, wide landscapes and such, but it's not like little things.
Yeah, Marty doesn't quite know about not leaking the future to people, does he? John's saying there's ice cream places that mix ground up CO2. Oh yeah, they're definitely that. But I just find a diner, someone literally just going to a diner and ordering a whole of cornflakes very strange. Maybe it's the Britishness in me.
$0.25 for a coffee. Ah, those are the days.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to let you all know I don't like coffee at all.
No.
I don't like any coffee, and I suffer from coffee envy. I see my friends going to Starbucks and Costa, which is in the chain like Starbucks, and they order their frappy lappy macchiatos with shots of this and syrups and all the cool stuff. And yeah, I go now. I'll have a tea, please. I'll have a tea.
Sometimes coffee can trick me. I was at, say, it's a beeping tab. I was at a music festival on the weekend, but still the weekend, I guess, but Friday, and it was getting rather late, so I needed a coffee to survive. Oh, that head. Ah! Oh, secondhand pain from that. But yes, I had a coffee with oat milk in it, and it was weirdly chewy, and it was horrifying.
So I just love the fact the way his dad's kind of blaming.
Yeah.
Like, this damn kid's in the way of my car. Not, I was maybe driving too fast and ran this child down.
Yeah. But you know, the braking speed on this thing is like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Asleep. That's cool.
John over on Horror Fan saying, I like one cup of black coffee once in a blue moon. It's been months now. And John says, give me chocolate milk, iced tea, and soda. Well, my father likes his coffee. My father likes strong coffee. So when I was in America, I bought him a can of, I brought back for him, Cafe Dumont original coffee, which is from the legendary New Orleans cafe. So I'll see if he likes that. It looked like treacle to me, but you know.
What would you all think if you could meet your mom as a teenager?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I know my mom was a huge hippie in her youth. I'd probably get along really well with my mom if I met her as a teenager. I get along with my mom now, so I'm sure we'd... Calvin Klein. Wait.
I would say the only thing that's a bit strange is it's got film window rain.
It does.
You don't tend to see rain on windows like that very often. That kind of streaming.
Well, the sprinkler pointed at the window.
Yeah. That's the point. If anyone, I'm desperate to see it. There's a new movie coming out soon called Blackbird, and it's written, directed, and starring Michael Flatley of Riverdance fame. They're calling it The Room. In the trailer, there's a wonderful scene where he's attending a funeral in the rain, and as he's walking, they've only had enough money to pay for the sprinkler in one location on him. And if you look in the distance, it's not like halfway up the path next to him, it's not raining.
How can you not fork out an extra $20 for another sprinkler?
It's incredible.
A kid younger than you, I can understand. At least they have the decency to not wake up. But a kid your age, lawsuit waiting to happen.
My last comment on Blackbird is Michael Flatley is playing a character called Victor Blackley.
Do I need to add him to the ongoing list of people whose movies I need to star in? Neil Breen.
But again, we see Pepsi on the table.
It's one hell of a drug, kids.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Michael Flatley, the River Dance, Lord of the Dance, tap dancer guy. Yes. Soul Searching Story says Dom. Small world. Both my parents were hippies. Mom shaved her head while Dad has 2-foot long hair. I think I would have liked them, though I would have roasted them knowing who they are.
Oh yeah, for sure. What TV show, Andrew, if you went back in time, would you be able to spoil for people watching it live?
Would I spoil for people watching it live? I don't know.
Not necessarily would you want to spoil it, because I mean, people who like spoiling stuff, they're monsters. There's a special place in the hells for them.
I don't know.
I think I'd be able to spoil most of the Twilight Zone. The start of the Next Generation, I'd accidentally be like, oh yeah, this is the one where Data finds his brother and stuff like that.
I do have a friend, speaking of spoilers, who when he saw, okay, one of the guys in his office, they were discussing the original movie Saw. And they were telling the other guy in the office about the movie Saw, how great it was, etc. And my friend says to my other friend, yeah, I couldn't believe the bit at the end where he gets up off the floor and he's not really dead. Great. Horror fan Wolfman's got nards. Well. Not that kid, but no, but horror fan Wolfman's got nards is very relevant to this film. Can you tell me why?
Oh God. Oh, original Twilight Zone, James Elliott, original.
So if you look, that garage is where Doc Brown lives now, in the garage, because there's supposed to be I think there's a fire at this mansion in the story, and it was destroyed. So he lives in it. No, not quite, Eric. Not well. Teen Wolf. Sorry, just confused. Is he going to spoil Teen Wolf? You're saying that's the connection to Wolfman's got nards? No. Well, maybe I'll let you have that for Teen Wolf for Michael J. Fox. But there's a stronger connection to Wolfman's Got Nards going on now.
Young Einstein, love it.
No, come on. I'm going to answer this one if no one gets it in a minute. Any idea, Dom?
Honestly, I can't think. I'm sure
There you go. Lizard Man got it.
Oh,
the town square in this movie and the Monster Squad is the same backlot stage.
We even mentioned that one earlier, didn't we? It was just like a passing comment.
That's what it is. Hill Valley
Universal
is the town
Monsters.
from the Monster Squad, technically.
And Gremlins.
And Gremlins as well, yeah. I love to imagine there's this big shared universe where on one side of the street, you've got the kids fighting Dracula and Wolfman and all the other cool stuff. But you've got the DeLorean racing on the other side of the street. That would be I'd love if anyone can do a great piece of art. I'd love to see a piece of art of just the Hill Valley Square with the Gremlins stuff happening, the Back to the Future stuff, and the Monster Squad stuff all just happening in one scene. It would, yeah. Future boy.
Future boy. Ronald Reagan.
Hannah Rose, it's a tremendous movie, Monster Squad, for kids to get into future horror. It is. No, I don't think Billy Peltzer would have made a great ally to the Monster Squad.
No.
But I would like to see Rudy shooting gremlins with his bow and arrow. That'd be awesome.
James Hellier, don't sully the good name of Monster Squad by mentioning RoboCop 3. I think that was another one Robin was trying to defend. I think he was trying to defend RoboCop 3 because Jetpack, and I'm like, Robin, no. It worked when I was 6, but not now. I won't be swayed by a jetpack. Flux capacitor.
Maybe one day, James. Maybe one day.
Oh.
One day.
I think I'm sick that day. Who'd have thunk, eh? The flux capacitor would be something synonymous with like 80s tech.
Yeah.
Why are so many RoboCop 3 fans coming out of the woodwork? Go back to the sewers where you belong, people. Don't be too hard on yourself, Doc. You look pretty good for your age there.
Yep. Radiation suit from the Atomic Wars. That's right.
Oh, that's nothing, mate. When we bring these things back, these invisible phones that are phasing in and out of existence.
Yeah, that looks it. Yeah. Well, Hannah Rose, I know we've got requests for a RoboCop 3 watch party, maybe one day, but we'll be doing a RoboCop 2 watch party before that.
I just love how he runs out of the basement or the garage.
Whew. I wonder if that flyer will come in handy.
Yeah. Is that an urn that he has just sitting on his table? Also, the amount of lamp doily cozies that are in this house is too damn many. Look at them. What is this? Back to the Future or Clue?
I'll tell you what, there are so many painted glass lampshades. It looks like a 1980s Pizza Hut restaurant in there.
There's a reason they won the fast food wars.
Yeah.
Only in the UK, though, right? It was Taco Bell in the US.
That's right. Here we go. Here we go. Come on. He's going to say it, everyone. He's going to say it.
I love how he
the movie
points.
Title.
He points at the screen as well.
You do realize we're nearly halfway through this movie already.
That's crazy.
It just moves at such a speed.
Some would say 80 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So convenient that he has photos. Oh no. I've just thought the remake that's inevitable
No, it's not going to happen.
It's going to be on the phone, isn't it? Oh, Michael J. Fox, you look so small.
He was never a physically imposing figure, was he?
No.
And I'm going to, okay, someone's already said it, Eric Stoltz stuff. Yes, a chunk of the movie was, as everyone knows, shot with Eric Stoltz. And there's a couple of shots allegedly where you can see Eric Stoltz's hands. Hannah Rose says, Michael J. Fox is not small, he's fun-sized.
Yep. That's what I like to tell people when I stand next to everyone else at Creative ECU towers at 6 foot something.
I can't help the fact I'm 6'3".
I'm just happy that my wife is 5'2", so it makes me look taller by comparison. Pocket-sized.
Oh, and that's a really good point. The atomic energy lab for kids that came out that actually, I believe, did have real radioactive material in it.
What? They say video games was bad for kids. What about go home and play with your atomic energy lab instead, children?
Well, there's a poster for the Enchantment Under the Sea dance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, Tony. It's an amazing performance considering doing 18 hours a day on 2 jobs. Basically, Michael J. Fox was shooting this at the same time as Family Ties and was basically sleeping in the car driving between the sets. Yeah, Eric Stoltz didn't have the comedic timing or feel for the role, and I'd agree. Michael J. Fox just made it. You can't imagine anyone in the role but any of these characters, and these actors as the characters. I will say, though, I am planning to go to London to see the Back to the Future musical in the West End. Apparently, some of my friends have seen it and said it's phenomenal.
I've heard many good things about it as well. Hopefully it comes to Vegas. I'm too lazy to go to New York.
New York. Bad things happen in New York. God, everyone was drinking milk back then. Full fat milk.
Yep. Better than oat milk.
Arteries like tubes of toothpaste back then.
Lizard Man Fry being a product of the time travel shenanigans will never not be screwed up. Yes, that episode of Futurama is amazing. It is based on a short TV miniseries in the UK called The Flip Side of Dominic Hyde, where my mother actually named me from, about a guy who goes back in time and becomes his own grandfather. Yeah, what a great way to be, what a great thing to be named after.
Oh yeah, Sharon, exactly. If you haven't seen Michael J. Fox in Family Ties, you missed out. He was the breakout star of Family Ties, without a doubt. That's a great show.
Mm. Ah, yeah. What a great mindset.
I will say though, Marty compared to Biff, he's like a terrier dog, isn't he? he won't back down, but he's clearly
He regrets what he started sometimes.
Yes.
I've been in a few of those scenarios where I'm like, yeah, let's start something, and then immediately afterwards I'm like, why did I do this? It's just a bad idea.
Yeah.
Make like a tree and get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you a story a few years ago. God, nearly 20 years ago now. I feel very old. I was in a car with 3 friends, and we were in a parking space waiting to reverse out. And a guy was walking along, and he just stood behind my car. And I had the reversing lights on and the engine running, and he was on the phone. So I just beat the horn but he decided he'd be the tough guy and walk up to my car and start banging on the window. Well, when he banged on the window, myself and 3 friends, 2 of them who were gym boys, got out, and the guy went, oh, and started running across the car park.
There you go, everyone. If you learned something here today, it's befriend giant gym freaks.
Yes. Yeah, it is. The aesthetic for the whole film's great. Soul Search and Destroy is really good. So, in this universe, what happened with the Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
Because where did the name Darth Vader come from? Now, in the universe going forwards, did George tell another George of a character called Darth Vader?
Probably. They met up at the local George convention, perhaps.
Yeah.
using modern sci-fi to force your dad to get with your mum.
Okay, guys, I wish I had a timer right now, because I'm going to give us a countdown. In the next couple of minutes, we're going to see one of the greatest moments in any movie ever made, another iconic scene. Onzi, that's a great question. I will ask everyone that in a moment, but we're going to have a countdown because we're going to have one of the greatest scenes ever.
Oh, yeah.
The scene that sold more skateboards than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And all I did was I got a skateboard as a kid and I just fell off. I couldn't.
I skated a bit as a kid. That's right. Rockstar and skater boy. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taken. Give me a milk. Oh, fantastic.
Hannah Rose is saying, I'm pushing 30, but I want to learn to skate so badly, even though I know I'll maim myself in the process. Let me tell you, Hannah, when you hit 40, you realize getting out of bed hurts. You can injure yourself. You can injure yourself making a sandwich with jello, with jam or jelly, as you'd call it. Not even a sharp knife. You will injure yourself.
When I ticked over 30, it's like my body was waiting to break on me. If I sleep the wrong way by like half a degree, I wake up the next morning feeling like death.
Yes.
I get hurt watching people skateboard. If I skateboarded now, I'd break every bone in my body. Does he ever take those 3D glasses off?
Nope, that's his thing. I think his name's like 3D or Specs. I think the character's name is.
Who's that 40-year-old teenager in the background?
John, I think you might be a tiny bit out of sync, maybe ahead of us. We are just coming up to 1 minute and 40 seconds on my copy.
Oldest trick in the book.
Yeah. Here we go. Coolest scene one of the coolest scenes in any movie ever.
Yep. Honestly, matched only by the sequel.
Yes.
Which is the exact same scene.
Who saw this scene and didn't want to skateboard afterwards as a kid? And that wonderful score.
Again, it's just an awesome victory march. Makes you feel so heroic.
Yeah. And they made it even cooler, the fact the makeshift skateboard has sparks.
Sparks, yeah.
At the back.
It's a board with wheels. Okay, Lorraine, you're a simp. We get it.
But that guy reminds me in Gremlins. I'm wondering if there's a scene that what was first? Was this first or Gremlins first? Gremlins was first. 84.
Yeah, 84.
But there's a scene in the cinema where there's a gremlin wearing 3D glasses making the same kind of noises.
I was about to say, yeah, just going like...
Yeah.
Honestly, Hannah Rose, I can't blame Lorraine. Even I simp for Marty. It's the right person to simp for. Yeah. Literally.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, any 3D glasses like that were a real thing that people wore them, I guess, during the 3D movies. So the old sort of greeny blue and red ones. But as to if people were wearing them afterwards, I guess there were some people who thought they were cool. It was this thing to be quirky and awesome.
Admittedly, that's an incredibly creepy line. Where does he live? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. Said over heavy breathing.
Okay, so quick question from Onzi. If you had access to the DeLorean, you could change one thing in time. What would you change? You see, the problem with that, Onzi, is it's very difficult to change the wider world with the DeLorean. Because if I had the DeLorean here and I went back in time to, I don't know, I went back in time to when Australia was discovered, for example, I couldn't stop it because I would be here in 1800s or whenever it was, or 1700s. The DeLorean is different compared to Bill and Ted's and the TARDIS, which means ours and Bill and Ted's machine are very similar.
Time and space.
Time and space, they move around. But if you wanted to see the birth of Christ, as Doc was saying earlier, you would just literally go back to the year 0000, but you'd be wherever you are in the world. So it's a great vehicle, but it is limited somewhat.
I like how Doc is upset that this isn't to scale, and yet he built this like paper construction thing in no time at all. The lampposts and everything.
That's some very precise timing.
Why don't we have like cool mad scientists in films and TV and media anymore?
Yeah.
There were so many. I think like there's parodies like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty, which was originally meant to be a Back to the Future TV series. That's why they're called Rick and Morty instead of Doc and Marty.
Yeah, exactly, John. The car can't physically really be anywhere different when it travels through time. I just love Christopher Lloyd's expression here. Throughout the film, he's, ooh, kind of.
Yeah. Well, the fact that he looks like a Muppet when he does it.
Yeah. Hannah Rose saying, "Am I the only one who never got into Rick and Morty?" It just passed me by, and I don't know if I don't know if I could get into it. I'm sure it's a fine show for some people, but it's just not one I don't think I could get into.
The audience for Rick and Morty have truly made it worse. It's a nightmare of a fandom. But the show itself is fine. Uncle Doc.
Uncle Doc. Let's not forget, though, that, I mean, Christopher Lloyd here, I mean, he'd been in Star Trek 3, was probably one of his biggest sort of movie roles. But otherwise, was it Jim he played in Taxi?
I can't remember.
I think it was Jim he played in Taxi, which is another great show. But
Christopher Lloyd is one of those actors. There you go, Tony M. Yes, Jim. But yeah, he's one of those actors that is just phenomenal. A lot of his roles that he plays, you can't see anyone else playing them. And yeah, you could say that Doc Brown is his definitive role.
Yeah, but Doc Brown is his definitive role. Doc Brown's a lovable, nice, kind guy. A bit eccentric, but nice guy. But is there a person? He's also Uncle Fester. Yeah,
Uncle Fester. Yeah,
which I can't wait for when we do our Addams Family watch party. But he also gave many of us nightmares.
He did. He did. He gave me loads of nightmares.
Gave many nightmares.
It's the voice more than anything, the synthesized voice, how it stretches out. Do you know why? I know exactly why that terrifies me, because I watched Day of the Dead as well around that time. And when zombies tear open the guy's larynx and he like squeals, it sounds the same. So I was associating Roger Rabbit with Day of the Dead so early on.
Has judged him. I mean, his voice just keeps getting higher pitched and higher pitched, doesn't it? That is terrifying.
My God, I think I had George's exact, like,
Hannah, I'd love to. I'll suggest it. I can't promise you any more than that, but I can certainly tell you both of those will be having watch parties next year.
Yes.
Hannah, the Addams Family is our first watch party of 2023. I think it's actually the 1st of January 2023. We scheduled it when everyone requested it because we're just so pumped for it.
I'm not sure how many people requested it. They definitely have after the fact, but I think you and I were just like, yeah, we're making it happen.
Well, no, there were
people who've spoken.
There were people requesting it in the Discord. And it was like, yeah, we're having Addams Family.
It's great that Marty has an overall positive effect on pretty much everyone he interacts with. I mean, you could argue he has a positive effect on Biff.
It does.
You could blame Marty for the things that happen in part 2, but it's not really him. It's Biff.
Oh, I love this score.
It's magical. And I've always wanted to like take musical scores from certain movies like this, like really iconic scores, and put them in different movies and see how it fares. I can't imagine another score here, like the Indiana Jones score. It wouldn't have the same effect.
John, do we have a calendar with some upcoming watch parties? Not yet. It's something I'm going to look into if we can do it. We haven't scheduled quite that far in advance. We just finished our summer of popcorn, which was 8 weeks of movies that we did publish in advance. But yeah, I'll see if we can get the website updated with an upcoming schedule, if we can get it locked in for the year. And then we'll tell you when and where. But I can tell you now, John, the next week and weekend after, we're going to be continuing this fantastic story. We're doing one of our Complete the Story watch party series. So it's Back to the Future 2, followed by 3. Horror fan, a 24-hour watch party sometime? Maybe one day, maybe for charity we'd do one. I don't know. That's a long...
I'm going to need a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, to all the Americans out there, did your high school have live bands that weren't kids performing? I know I performed at my school prom. But an actual band with talent? Paper mache structures? This is crazy.
Oh. I just remember my school dances basically being all the boys on one side of the hall, all the girls on the other side of the hall, just looking at each other.
Yep, awkwardly.
And then at some point, there would be a girl and a boy who'd broken
up. The Macarena would go on. Oh,
no. There'd be a boy and a girl who'd broken up. The girl would be sat usually on the stairs or in a doorway, crying, being surrounded by her friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then the boy or his friends would walk nearby, and it would be like a scene out of Macbeth with the witches like clawing at the person. Keep away from him. Away from her, you upset her.
That's what happens. Boys don't get... We don't get a lot of backup when we break up. We get blamed.
No.
We should bring back the term square.
Oh, and don't forget, house parties growing up. A girl always had to drink too much and then lock herself in the bathroom crying.
I was the host of many of those house parties.
I think the you lock yourself in a bathroom crying was that, when we were in school and they had the conversation where all the boys had to leave and it was the girls left behind.
Yeah.
I think that's where the training around, like, when you have a house party, one of you must get drunk and lock yourself in the bathroom crying. Do not tell the boys this.
I wonder how they pick. Do they draw straws?
I don't know.
We've all been there, Marty.
At least he knows it didn't go too far wrong, because there could have been a situation where she kissed him and all of a sudden he just evaporates out of existence immediately with a big bang.
Yeah.
A puff of smoke. Yeah.
This must be similar to like eldritch horror in Lovecraftian stories, like the realization overwhelming your entire being.
Yeah, Sharon, exactly. This is how the Empire Strikes Back kiss should have gone. Not her brother leaning back going, yeah. Yeah.
I totally agree with Onzi. Back to the Future, the game is amazing.
Yeah. And the guy who plays Marty in it sounds more like Michael J. Fox than Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, I agree with you. It's something we do try and do. We do try and play movies in order, even if not back to back. Often we'll play back to back, but I will always try and play the
first one first.
First, second, and so on. Because I find it frustrating hopping around in the story. Yeah, this was similar to me in the
Yeah,
in the
this
car
is
park.
what happened to you. Yeah.
Yeah, this was kind of situation. Very similar.
Ah, yes, the dreaded reefer addicts.
Was it Reefer Madness? Was the film?
Yeah. Yes, such a goofy run, doesn't he, old George?
Oh. If he fell in the sea with that much oil in his hair, he'd cause an oil slick, wouldn't he? I mean, Biff, this is so inappropriate, Biff. This is actually this is a police matter, Biff.
It is, yeah. We'll go to jail for much less. And good on George for stopping it.
Yeah. Exactly. George went from boy to man by saving the girl he loves. He does, though. He does the right thing.
And Lorraine gives him the opportunity.
Yeah.
God, this movie does teach all the wrong messages, doesn't it? Financial independence equals happiness. Violence solves all your problems. But damn it, sometimes it works.
Again, the score here is just brilliant in so many of the scenes.
Yeah. Just swells the heart, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. And next week, we will see the most annoying character in any movie when we see this scene from another angle, to be continued next week.
This is when you and I go back in time and you put me up for this saying, oh yeah, Dom said he can play the guitar. And I'm like, oh, I've forgotten more than I can remember.
I have been known to sing this at karaoke. Not that I would not without a few drinks in me, though.
Oh yeah, I'm totally incapable of doing karaoke without a few drinks in me as well. I don't know where all my stage confidence went, but it left me many years ago.
Actually, Dom, that's more like probably you playing the guitar now.
Yeah, that's the. Listen, I know my power chords, all right, and I can arpeggio with the best of them. I do like this though. There's someone cackling on the dance floor like a cartoon villain, and no one's doing anything. The evil gingers.
It's the fact. I love the way that George kind of just like pushes him away. And the way Marty gets back up is like very strange now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's great. The movie could actually end here, and I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very sweet ending. Except it's not the ending.
Mm.
Now's your chance. Admittedly, when I first watched this, I remember thinking, okay, here's where Marty's going to get recognized as the guitar hero he is.
Yeah.
It's not quite how it goes down, though.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Soul
how
Search and
all...
Destroy said, when I first saw this, I thought he'd play Power of Love again. But yeah, Johnny B. Good was probably a bit more appropriate.
Mm-hmm. We're just going to sit here and listen to the song now, aren't we?
We are. That's a weird dance move.
You're laying on the back and just flicking.
Flicking.
What do you mean? It's at all the clubs over here. Mm-hmm. I love how on the nose this is.
It's just great. And this goes over the top.
Mm-hmm. Aggressive air guitar. Yep. Bill and Ted would be proud.
Come on. That long note.
Oh, that poor string. Oh, that poor string. Honestly, as well, his poor fingers. Oh, that would have dug into you. That's the power of love. Yeah.
It is. Educational. Maybe.
Mm. Now he walks off, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
Who hasn't accidentally set fire to the living room rug?
That's a bit strange, isn't it? And then George is like, as Marty grows up, she's had a child named Marty who looks identical to the Marty they met previously. Lorraine, have you got something to tell me?
Did he just look directly at the camera again?
Calbot, that just blown my mind. What if he got back and his older brother was now Marty?
Yeah, and his name is Calvin.
Yeah. So he left at 1:35 a.m.
I like how that one cop, the town cop, just let him do all this.
Well, no, you can see it's not about. It's pretty much dead at night. The town centre, because from that. Now, this is something as a British person I had to learn about in America with driving. When you see a light that's like flashing red like that, it means basically proceed at caution, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't have that in the UK, do we? We don't have.
We also don't have turn on right, which is
no
an amazing rule.
We don't have right on red or left on red in the UK, as it would be.
Yeah, but it makes so much sense. Traffic would be so much better if they did that.
It would be. It would be.
And there'd be a lot more accidents.
But it's pretty safe to assume, though, that if that's the traffic control for the town during the night, it's pretty quiet.
Nah.
It's the 1950s. There weren't 24-hour McDonald's there.
Mad Matt saying Doc gave the cop his permit, in air quotes. Are you suggesting Doc
actually
beat or bribed the
bribed
cop?
him? I think Mad Matt's got it exactly. He goes, "Yeah, I got your permit here," and he reaches in his pocket, and I think that is he bribed the cop.
Yeah, if only people took the traffic control the way they should seriously. Yeah, that'd be good. I think that film schools do use Back to the Future as evidence of like very strong story scripting.
Yeah. Well, Back to the Future 2, which of course is next week. I can't wait to go through that with you guys because it's actually really complicated. They must have had a big chalkboard in their living room where they were drawing lines, working out what was going on in the movie.
The way that a film should be scripted, with care, precision,
and a chalkboard.
And a chalkboard.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't like heights.
I'm okay with heights. Realize I'm still wearing my bloody Timex instead of my. Just as the tension starts to evaporate because the problem has been solved, a new problem arises that pushes the action forward.
Yeah. I mean, these
movies from A to B.
It's just a comment from John over on YouTube. It's a textbook example of setting things up in a movie and having them pay off later. It really is. It is. The movies are so well written. Icy Matty, no. Maybe the branch was too heavy to move easily. I don't know.
Four minutes can be both an eternity and no time at all.
It's the fact that Doc's actually saying to him, "Please, Marty." So he's clearly cares more about Marty going back to where he needs to go.
Yeah. Which just elevates Doc. It makes him such a nicer character. Not that he wasn't a nice character before, but the selflessness always just makes it's a cheap, easy way of making a character so likable. Start here. Again, Doc's ability to do things that should take absolutely ages in the span of a scene.
Well, no, he's been at the dance for a few hours, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But Soul Searching Story saying it cements people's love for a character, a selfless deed. And Neil Wade saying, I prefer Star Trek's attitude towards time travel. Be careful, but don't flatter yourself. You're but a mere speck in the universe.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. If you ever want existential crises, just look at how old the universe is and how little of it we've been here for. Start to feel real small.
Marty's really cutting it a bit fine. I'll give myself 10 more minutes when I get back.
A dodgy starter.
Yeah.
I'm about to see some crappy masonry work.
To be fair, it's very old and it wasn't designed to. It's maybe decorative. And it's quite old, and it wasn't designed for someone to be walking on.
Darn it! Why not? Oh, it's so tense, isn't it?
It really is.
Just how precariously it's on his tweed trousers.
Go, Marty, come on. It's the fact right now Marty is just cranking and cranking and cranking at that car to try to start it while this is going on.
Both characters simultaneously in equal amounts of peril.
Yeah.
That tension just ramping up and up and up. Violence, it solves everything.
That's right. They call it percussive maintenance.
I'm going to use that one next time.
Exactly, Doug P knows that term. Come on, Doc. Now seeing how long it takes the DeLorean to get to 88 miles an hour.
Mm. He comes up with solutions very fast as well, doesn't he, Doc?
He's a very clever man, Doc.
He is. Thank God he had those gloves. Otherwise, bye-bye to your palms.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd's always great at the practical comedy, though, isn't he?
Yeah.
So, in a second, I'm going to ask you a question. The question I asked earlier.
And then a Terminator just appears there and everything goes down.
Yeah, a naked Arnold Schwarzenegger appears in the middle of the street. I love the little victory bit when he's sort of it works.
runs down the floor.
Great. Again, that score is just magnificent.
In just a handful of notes, it just makes you feel victorious. Our old friend.
And where have we seen him before?
Every movie with a hobo in it.
Oh, there's a bit more to it. A bit more to it.
God, we've seen him very recently. The Fog?
No. Watch this. I'm gonna shock you in a second.
Oh, yeah. It's not The Fog. It's the... Well, he might be in The Fog, actually, as well, but he's in They Live.
Just listen to what Marty says. Where have we seen that man before? That man was the mayor in the 50s.
Yeah.
Red.
Wait. Is it? Oh, yeah, it's Red.
He was the mayor who lost the re-election in the 50s.
Yeah.
And he's now the hobo.
Red the hobo.
The former mayor of Hill Valley. We saw his picture on the side of the van for re-election. Obviously, it didn't go very well for him.
No. I can't unsee him from his character in They Live.
No.
Where he plays both a hobo and a wealthy... Lone Pine Mall.
Lone Pine Mall.
I thought that was awful ADR for a second there when I saw his mouth just dip.
I love the fact Doc Brown Enterprises 24-hour scientific services.
Yep.
Excuse me, do you have any 24-hour scientific services you could offer me?
I've got a scientific inquiry, and you're the only place. Can you believe you're the only place open 24 hours? A Ghostbuster, but for science.
Yeah, he's ready to science for you.
Oh, wow. Do you remember those photo booths?
Yeah.
The quick development things.
Yeah.
For any kids in the audience, a photo development booth is where we used to...
This scene here, the way Doc appears to be dead, but then he blinks and like starts to move afterwards. I'm wondering if it's almost like the timeline catching up.
Maybe. Because as we've seen in the past, at least, the timeline does like take time to catch up.
Yeah. I'll score again.
Mm-hmm. I do like how, regardless of his success, George McFly still lives here.
Yeah, but the house is much nicer, isn't it? It's furnished better. They're not moved to a better estate. But for all you know, it might be the house is in a quite nice area, and the family came into some money, maybe from her parents dying or something, and
That's
they bought
true,
the
yeah.
house, but they haven't been able to financially maintain it to an appropriate standard. You know, like where you have a nice area, but you have a house that's like they're the dirty family.
Oh yeah. We don't talk to those neighbors. I'm pretty sure that's me in my neighborhood. No one wants to talk to me, which is fine by me. Delicious caffeine-free, Pepsi-free.
With NutraSweet.
How could he sleep like such a goblin? Like I couldn't. It would just kill every part of my body.
Yeah. I like the fact that everything else in the house is much nicer and posher and smarter, but his room's still the same.
Yeah, his room's exactly the same.
I guess it shows Marty hasn't changed in this timeline.
From Burger King to
businessman
place.
Yes. I work in business.
The company.
Yeah, I work for companies. The only thing I find strange is they've given Lorraine in this timeline an enormous forehead.
Yeah, a 5-head.
Yes. But your forehead is enormous.
I do like how her attitude has changed as well towards Jennifer.
Brandon's saying he believes when Marty goes back to 1955 in part 2, he fixes the events straight.
Oh.
I don't know.
Who has kept up with anyone from high school besides like incredibly close friends?
No, I don't want to see most of the people I went to school with.
Uh-huh. It is quite a nice tracksuit, to be fair.
Yeah, it's a nice truck.
Yeah, very, very nice truck.
I don't know if I'd want it, but it's a nice truck. Well, you're not going to be seeing her for a long time, unfortunately, Michael.
Yep.
For your wells. But again, I love Elizabeth Shue as well, though, so.
Is this the one time sequel baiting has like worked and not been terrible?
Yeah, pretty much, I think.
The clear tie. If someone dressed like this nowadays, I don't think I'd look at them beyond like weirdo.
Yeah. But Sharon, it doesn't run on garbage. It still runs on gasoline, don't forget.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, Duck is a bit
Yeah.
Savile-esque.
Let's drop that one now. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. There we go. What a great.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Roads.
Oh, it's so cool.
It is. It's just awesome. Here we go. And. Well, everybody, that was Back to the Future. What an amazing fun time. I know, I see, Matty, you just want to keep going. I do too, but we can't. We've got next week, we're going to be back with Back to the Future Part 2, and we'll be concluding the week after. This was just so much fun. This film, everyone's saying this movie goes by so fast. Phonic, welcome to you earlier. It's amazing every time. Yeah.
It has. It's just swam by so quickly.
It has, and I can't wait for it. I'm so looking forward to next week with part 2, and then the conclusion with part 3. This is going to be so much fun. Dom, I don't know what more there is to say. I mean, try and sum this movie up for us.
I think you put it best when you said it's as deep as you want it to be. It is a classic, one of, if not the best example of 80s sci-fi done in a popcorny way, but still has a lot of heart to it.
Yeah, it's accessible sci-fi as well. I think that's one of the things that's why it's such a successful movie. I mean, you could, as you said, I said, it's as deep as you want it to be. You can look into all the time travel and the deepness and whatever, but otherwise it's just a great fun film where you can take your wife, your mum, or whoever in the family wasn't into time travel science fiction movies, and they just have a great time watching it. It's one of them all-time great movies. I love this movie. It's easily just one of the best movies ever. Everything is an A game about it, which is quite strange because the production of it at one point looked like it was going to be a disaster with the whole Eric Stoltz debacle and everything else. But everyone, I think it's probably time to say bye-bye for the week. So we will be back in 7 days with Back to the Future Part 2. Please take care of each other, be kind, look after each other, and we will see you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
See you then.